Good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to the ASUG webcast, A Supply Chain Transformed with SAP Integrated Business Planning, a customer story from Albemarle Corporation. Before we get started, I do have a few announcements. Today's webcast is being recorded. The recording and slides will be posted to the ASUG website later today, and all registrants will receive an email with the link to these materials. Additionally, please feel free to type in your questions using the Q&A link at the bottom of your screen. We will get to as many of those questions as possible at the end of the presentation. Coming up in just 2 weeks is the SAP Analytics and Business Objects Conference, also known as SABOC, a 3-day event in Austin, Texas. All session content is now available online at saboc.asug.com. Please visit the site to learn more, register, and plan your agenda. Additionally, there is a practical analytics workshop same time as SABOC. It's a hands-on training, which is new this year. It's filling up quickly, so again, 2 weeks away. Make sure you visit the website to register if you are interested. During the same time again as SABOC is the Business One Summit. This brings out 500 Business One users, so if you are currently seeking to connect with other users, it's a great event to attend. Register at asug.com. The ASUG Summit HR and Payroll, it's a complimentary educational face-to-face event that covers human capital management and Canadian payroll content. It'll be October 14th through 16th in Hilton, Toronto. So again, visit the site listed on the slide there for more information. If you want to get involved with our Influence department, we're currently accepting registrations. Customer Influence is a great opportunity to interact directly with SAP development teams. So if you are interested in being more involved, visit influence.sap.com for more information. And for our HR community, if you would like to be more involved with ASUG and our Human Resources Special Interest Group, again, please visit asug.com/HR community for more information. And lastly, ASUG is partnering with SAP. SAP is hosting a conference in Las Vegas in October. ASUG has about 100 hours of content, including pre-conference seminars. So that's Tech Ed in Las Vegas, October 19th. And with that, I will turn things over to Damien. Damien is our Chair of Supply Chain Planning with the ACM community, and he will get us started here. Damien?
Yep. Thank you, Rebecca. I'm Damien Chen, ASUG Supply Chain Planning Chair. First of all, I'd like to thank Eric and Pushpinder for the presentation today on the subject, Learn How Albemarle Corporation Transformed Their Supply Chain with SAP Integrated Business Planning, also known as SCM IBP. Eric Stratman is the Senior Director Supply Chain for Albemarle Corporation. Eric began his career at Albemarle in the IT department and held various positions, including Director, Global IT, and Director, Global MRO Purchasing. And he's currently leading a global supply chain transformation project to implement a new S&OP system and process. Pushpinder Singh, Solution Architect, Integral System. Pushpinder has more than 14 years of experience in supply chain management designing supply chain solutions for various clients across a multitude of countries and industries using such tools as SAP APO, IBP, SPP, IS Auto, and etc. Without further ado, let's hear from Eric and Pushpinder. Eric and Pushpinder, you want to take over the presentation now?
Yes. Okay, thank you for the introduction. This is Eric Stratman. I'm going to start us off, and then I'm going to turn it over to Pushpinder and then maybe take it back. Our company is Albemarle Corporation. I have a few slides on that. Pushpinder is going to talk about Intrigo. They're our implementation partner from the beginning of our project. and then talk about what we were trying to accomplish in our supply chain transformation, what were the key focus areas, why we selected the S&OP tool, now named IBP, what's our status today, and then master data, key changes, some of the metrics, and then lessons learned. And hopefully we can make this interactive and we can go in whatever direction the audience wants. So, okay? So, Albemarle Corporation is a specialty chemical company. We have 4 main business lines. We make chemicals in lithium for batteries, catalysts for refiners, bromine for flame retardants in electronics industry, and finally we have a surface treatment for the automotive industry. Albemarle actually is in a transformation itself. We were, up until the beginning of this year, a $3 billion specialty chemical, and we made an acquisition of a company called Rockwood Industries, and so we now are a $5 billion company. At the beginning of the year, we started with 3,900 employees, and now we have close to 6,000. So essentially, we've doubled our size, and we are looking at how that affects the supply chain transformation project, of course. Okay, so next slide.
Hey everyone, I'm Pushpinder Singh. I work for Intrigo Systems. We are a Bay Area-based company, and we are specifically focused on supply chain related aspects. We have different models with which we go to market. One of our model is cloud network services, where we are doing a lot of work from last 2+ years. And majorly in this area, we are working on SAP IBP solutions, and we do all available modules of IBP. We have started our procurement practice as well, where we are doing Ariba stuff related integrations. We used to do a lot of regular stuff where we have ERP, SCM, CRM implementations under our belt. We have a group where we do advisory services for supply chain related solutions or roadmaps for various industries. Over a period of time, we have developed a couple of products in the space. We have a product called Optech, which is primarily a bolt-on on SAP APO. It makes a lot of data management related activities easier for customers. We have a product called Kalifta, where we have given a platform where buyers and suppliers can interact in a much easily seamless fashion. We have a couple of other products which we're using for different customers in industry. Now we'll move on to the current focus. So we are into IBP from last 3+ years, and we are, I think, the early adopters in that area in terms of partners. We have done the first implementation around S&OP on HANA application, which was available more than like 2.5 years back. We have done the first RCCP implementation, which was done at Albemarle in terms of solution. We have our own instances where we have multiple applications available. So we have our own instance where we do a lot of verification of product once it is launched by SAP. As a company, we have more than we have in double digits live implementations as on date, and subsequent to that, we have most custom references as well available in the IBP space. As we were involved in this product from beginning, so we are doing a lot of development and testing activities with SAP in their solution. So we see products little bit early, and we provide our opinion about the product before sometimes it is launched to the customers in the market. As a company, these are some of our customers with whom we are working in last 3+ years, and they are like inclusive of supply chain as well as your specific IBP applications. Now I pass it back to Eric, so he will run us through supply chain transformation project.
So this is kind of a busy slide, but a year and a half ago, our company Albemarle Corporation looked at our working capital against our peers, and we felt like we were really, we had more days of working capital than we should, and so a stretch goal was formed to form a supply chain transformation project and to look at all of these areas, these wheels. And so we looked at our network strategy, our S&OP process, customer vendor terms, sales forecasting, accuracy, and manufacturing planning. And the goals that we accomplished in the project in the year 2014 were we were able to reduce our working capital by $100 million. And this was starting at $750 million, so it's quite a bit of a decrease, all in the inventory. We implemented a new S&OP forecast process and an S&OP process. We developed tighter integration and really took advantage more of our SAP system using IBP. So the next slide really kind of zeroes in on what our primary focus was for the discussion today, and that was we really didn't have a good way of looking at our forecasting. We had S&OP process, which was spreadsheet based, and each of our businesses had a different process. And then we also had pretty much spreadsheets in manufacturing. We really weren't taking advantage of SAP being the single version of the truth. So we're still an SAP 4.6 shop, and basically we have been looking at going to ECC 6 for many years, but we really can't justify the big giant increase. So we were looking at how do we get today's technology without having to upgrade our whole SAP system. So that leads us into the next slide. We were looking at integrated business planning and looking at all of the other packages that were on the market at the time in early 2014. We selected S&OP tool, or IBP as it's known now, because basically we are a single system SAP shop. We use business intelligence. We like the HANA platform. We like that it was the platform for the future for SAP. We use Salesforce.com for our CRM, and there was interfaces with IBP. The Excel interface that IBP provides was something we really liked, because of our 250 users presently, 240 of them are sales and business people. 60% of these are outside of the U.S., and we have a big presence in Asia. So sales and business folks love Excel, and we just thought that if we gave them an interface like that, our training would be easier, and we found that to be true. We like the idea that with IBP we could get sales forecast accuracy at a sales rep level. The salesman didn't necessarily like that, but the business management did, because basically we were rolling up everything in a spreadsheet every month, and we really couldn't tell where we were getting good inputs or bad inputs. On the back end, once we got the data from the sales and business folks on the forecast each month, we used spreadsheets for rough cut capacity planning, and oftentimes it was only for 3 or 6 months. So we wanted to move to an 18-month rolling forecast model, and also we wanted to really use our SAP MRP technology, which some plants were and some plants weren't. Okay, so we selected IBP. We wanted So we're going to have to read the questions. Hold on one second.
We have it. This is the questionnaire.
Okay, can you read it to me?
If you have to redo the implementation, what's the main thing you would do differently?
Okay, so that's a good question. Actually, I have a lessons learned slide at the end. Why don't we postpone that and then we can raise that again. I'll give you a hint at the beginning. We would have appreciated master data more, and we would have the master data transformation was the longest pole in the tent, so to speak, and so we underestimated how much our master data was out of whack and how much it took for us to get right for the tool. Okay? So the next slide is just kind of a graphical. This is a really good slide that I've used with our Albemarle business and sales folks to explain. Basically, we have a data. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. So, where are we today? We have 250 users on the system, as I said before, primarily sales and business users. We have planners, and we also have the VP, the management of the businesses. We elected to roll this out parts of the business at a time, so we didn't do a big bang. So we've rolled it out to 4 of our major divisions, and we basically have between now and the end of the year to finish what I call Heritage Albemarle. That is what our $3 billion specialty chemical business was prior to the acquisition of Rockwood. And so our goal at the beginning was to finish by the end of the year Heritage Albemarle. And the big dimensions in this are, of course, we have to clean the master data up. That is customer master, material master, lead times, sales rep assignments, responsibilities, customers, things like that. We then we set up training as we rolled into the divisions. Basically, we got the sales and business folks on a monthly basis every day if they wanted to, putting the 18-month forecast for 2 months from now, because it takes Albemarle about a month to make something in our plants and a month to get it to our customers, because we have such a diverse customer base. Then going down the slide, then we tackled demand planning. The planners used the volumes to come up with a consensus. Then each month we ran a rough cut capacity planning using IBP to get where we were, and then basically we pushed the volumes that it was settled on, the constrained demand, to SAP, and then our production planners in the plants used MRP with this push to manage the next 1 to 3 months. So we used IBP for the 18-month high-level forecast, and then we pushed exactly what we were going to make for the next 3 months, and our production planners in the plants used that in MRP. The very bottom is sort of a goal of the team, and that was we get rid of all spreadsheets, and we still have some of our divisions that are, they need their fix of a spreadsheet. So for example, in Division 2, they're still using IBP for everything, but they have their spreadsheet just to make sure that it's the right thing. So we didn't want to take it away from them because we have oftentimes million-dollar orders and customers that demand things on a certain month, and so we didn't want to take a chance, but our goal is to have no more spreadsheets and I'll use IBP. Okay?
Question? It's the same one.
Okay, so this is sort of an easy graphic for our users. We have daily, weekly, monthly jobs. Actually, we have 65 jobs in total that run daily, weekly, or monthly, and we get data out of our business warehouse environment, SAP 4.6 and Salesforce.com. We put it into the database in the sky, as we call it. So we put it into the IBP database in the cloud. We're totally cloud-based. And then our business users, our sales and business users use Excel to enter or look at data, update data, and we use the web UI for planners in our S&OP meetings. And then also we push back out to SAP when we're finished, once a month. Okay? After IBP implementation, basically we've talked about spreadsheets went away. We have a single version of the truth in IBP. We have we've cleaned up our master data, and a side benefit of the project was we put in place data governance to keep it clean. We have sales now totally involved in the forecast, and we have a demand consensus in one place. We have metrics. I have another slide to talk about that. We've gone to what we call meeting cadence. We've gone to a demand meeting, a supply meeting, a pre-S&OP, and an executive S&OP meeting every month in every division. So we all have the same kind of meetings, and we use the tool, that IBP tool, to produce the charts like forecast accuracy or demand. And our goal is that each of our S&OP meetings, the first 10 slides are the same in every meeting. So also, we've had a lot of success, and we've kind of proven to manufacturing that the pain is worth the gain to use MRP. Their spreadsheets were easy to update, but nobody could see them but them. If we lost a production planner through retirement or took another job, we pretty much have to start over with that spreadsheet and that training. And so now that we have a homogeneous production planning with the transformation project, we feel like we have a lot more continuity and we have redundancy. One plant could help another plant out if a person's sick or something like that. Okay? We talked about master data cleanup, and I have one of my colleagues, Tim Matt from IT, that's part of the team in here, and he's kind of shaking his head sideways. We have, over the course of the project, we had basically, these are the statistics. We've we've deactivated customers that have been living in our system, but they were no longer our customer products. And so we've updated thousands of entries because we decided at the beginning we didn't want any dead wood in our IBP system. We wanted the system to be efficient, and so we only wanted to load good data. And so what we had to do then is implement master data discipline that our company lacked, and so it gave us a good excuse to put in place and make everybody appreciate that, when we divest a plant, we need to go to SAP and flag it for deletion. Instead, we just kept everything for the 10 years we ran SAP in the system. So that slide is customer master data. The next slide is material master data, and the same thing here. You can't run rough cut capacity planning if you don't have the work centers and the routings and the lead times and the places where you make a product or warehouses that you store it. So it took a huge amount of time to get our material master data ready to run an IBP. But I think we're better off for it. Okay? So now we're on slide 24. 4 more slides to go. We've implemented new metrics, and you can get 10 books on best of class supply chain in companies for any kind of industry, but these are the top 15, some of which have nothing to do with IBP, like AR, average payment terms. So again, we wanted to look at how quickly we were being paid and how quickly we were paying our suppliers and our working capital. So that's customer terms. We've created a new metric called produce to plan. So every week a plant says, here are the tasks that we're going to make in every unit, and we report to everyone how well we did on that. Changes within time fence. This would be one of the big chapters in any book you read about supply chain excellence, and that is you want to, in the case of Albemarle, you want to tell us in time so that we can have everything ready. We want to get raw materials and intermediates just in time so we're not carrying them on our books, and we want to make it and ship it to the customers quickly as possible to reduce our inventory. And so you want to try to minimize once you've forecast for the so at the end of August we're going to be given the forecast for October. So when you get to October, you want to do everything you said. You don't want to move orders around, so you want to minimize, the 30-day fence you have. You want to make everything within 30 days and only change things where it doesn't affect inventory. We already had inventory turns, but we produced that in the tool. Forecast accuracy. So I talked about this before. For the first time, we could tell of our 200 global salesmen, here's what you told us 2 months ago to make in July, and here's what we actually made. And so we can give their sales managers or directors or the business VPs how well they did on this. And so we could not do this without the IBP tool. Okay? I think the next slide is an example of our sales forecast accuracy. So I changed the names to protect the innocent in the first column, but for example, this is a June 15th report. So for sales rep E, their forecast was 291 kgs for all of their customers, and The actuals came in at 334 tons, and so they were 85% accurate. A rule of thumb is if you're 80% or better, that's excellent. Because we still have customers that change their mind often. A lot of our customers are giant mega companies like ExxonMobil or Mercedes-Benz, and a $5 billion specialty chemical company, pretty much when a $100 billion company tells you that the order is going to be moved, or we're not going to take it, or we need to move it this month or next month, we pretty much say yes, sir. So there is going to be some inaccuracy because of unplanned customer, but we feel like the fact that we have visibility now at a customer rep level, sales rep level, that there's much more attention paid to make the forecast accurate, and we've also put their annual salary incentive at risk. And so one of the lessons learned would be, if you're reporting this but they're not incentivized by making it the best possible, you're not going to really change behavior. So a key critical success factor for us reducing inventory is have everybody pay attention to the sales forecast and try to improve every month. So as one of the attendees asked, what did we learn? We learned that master data cleanup was 3 times more manpower and time than we expected. We were one of the first 25 customers to really do a deep dive into the S&OP tool and now IBP. And so we experienced some delays in the maturity of the product, but I would say in the last 6 months we've pretty much overcame that. So from the beginning of 2014 to the beginning of 2015, there was lots of things changing in the product. So that's the bad news. The good news is we were able to influence SAP on changes that we wanted to make. A new enhancement in IBP coming out soon is what we call planning zone, and that is a key thing that we needed for RCCP in our businesses. The Excel interface, as I said, was really easy. Our users in 15 minutes can be trained to run, and we actually achieved a higher than expected inventory reduction, not directly to the IBP tool, but our project with a standard system, better metrics, high visibility, we actually were able to reduce inventory more than we expected. And then, as I said before, the game changer is trying to get the best forecast possible. Without a good forecast, you're making things and keeping them in inventory and not selling them. So I can't say enough that's a very important critical success factor in our project. Okay? So I guess we're on slide 27 now.
Any questions from anyone's side?
Great.
Yeah,
Thank you. Damien, did you want to handle the Q&A?
Yes. So let me start with the first question. So the first question is, so are you measuring accuracy on a lag 2 basis?
Okay, the last.
Yeah, lag 2 basis, yes.
Yes. So yes, we have a key figure in IBP called sales forecast quantity, and we look at 2 months ago versus the present month. So in my slide where I showed forecast accuracy, we had M-2 sales forecast. So it was June actual, and we were looking at what they forecast at the beginning of April, so 2 months before.
Okay. The next question, are you essentially using the S&OP module of IBP as the equivalent of APO, supply network planning, or do you have some other supply network planning system?
We only use IBP.
Okay.
We never implemented APO.
Okay, thank you. Next one. Next one is a bit technical. So are you using HEC as in HANA Enterprise Cloud as your cloud platform?
No, they are using HANA Cloud HCI for integration. So it's not an on-prem implementation. This is an on-cloud implementation.
Okay. The next question. I think you already answered that. Do you use APO for planning? And the answer is no. Let me take the next one. I think we have several more. Okay. Is integration with ERP a challenge? What is the percentage of time that your team had to spend on them?
So integration was a challenge. I don't have at my fingertips the exact breakdown, but roughly, Pushpender, would you say 30% of our effort? 20% of our effort?
So complete integration, if you look at it, getting information from R3 system into IBP and moving it back, like we spend considerable amount of time in that. One reason is because it was an old SAP implementation earlier, so we had a lot of legacy to move after. And so all those challenges, if you put together, it was a considerable effort. From this application, if you look at it, we are pushing back 2 feeds into R3 system. And one of the feed is to run MRP back in R3 system. And another feed is like they have a data source which planners are maintaining in IBP application, and which becomes a source system for R3 in terms of their price information. So they're using IBP to define a new source as well in the application.
Okay. The next question, is there a reason why you choose IBP instead of APO for planning?
Okay, so let me be politically correct when I say this. Albemarle has used SAP on a single system since 1997, and we've had a lot of acquisitions and divestitures. So we've been a pretty dynamic company, as all specialty chemical companies have been. So we haven't spent a lot of time on using SAP to the fullest. We pretty much had a model that we used, and we've had technical upgrades in SAP since we've gotten it. APO was never something that Albemarle was willing to put the money and the manpower to, because of the significant amount of master data fields that have to be maintained and just the sheer amount of time to keep all of that running. Specialty chemical is different than other kind of manufacturing in that we have lots and lots of single plants, single units that only make one kind of product. So we don't have like a giant commodity business that we make things for 100 customers. So no, we never considered using APO, and we pretty much did rough cut did the APO functions on spreadsheets outside of SAP. So we saw IBP as a way to get as close to APO as possible with less effort.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just to add to that, like in terms of their planning group, Eric mentioned earlier, like they have 250 planners, and out of them, like 240 are on the field. So they are more like contributing in their forecasting and demand planning process. So in terms of supply network planning, it was a comparatively lesser group of 10 people managing the entire planning and scheduling effort around the network.
We also believe, just to add a side note, we also believed the sales slides that SAP gave us at in beginning of 2014 that IBP would eventually replace APO. And since we're old version SAP, we saw going to IBP as getting the functionality that we could get with APO and being able to keep this long term so that we could, in the next 18 months, we're going to upgrade our SAP system, but IBP is already there. So we moved forward in getting to newer technology in the S&OP planning area by going to IBP, and going back to APO, we would have to have our whole SAP system up to current level to get the functionality that we get with IBP.
Yeah,
that makes sense?
I can understand. Yes. Yeah, because APO does require that you have to upgrade your R3 system to ERP. And you are right, because SAP actually do have a roadmap that says APO. I think by 2025, that is when APO will be no longer supported. Depends on how you interpret that. Mm-hmm. Let me move to the next question. This is very interesting. Are you using statistical forecast capability in IBP?
So that's a good question. That was one of the things that some of our businesses use in an Excel spreadsheet, and so today we are not. But our plans are, as soon as we digest all of the people that we have onto the system, that's our next thing to work with Intrigo. So we have it all. We have all the key figures there. We aren't running it now. We have 3 years of data, so we feel like in a few weeks we could start using that. So no, we're not today, but it's on our next. It's on our list, an important list to get to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. This is another process question. Is the S&OP process owned by a forecasting team or sales team? Or is this process a true consensus process that all relevant functional group stakeholders are invested?
I would say it's the latter.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely doesn't belong to the sales team. It doesn't belong to manufacturing or the supply side. The S&OP planner, so it's owned by the division VP of the business, and the S&OP planner is the facilitator. But it's a true consensus. Mm-hmm. But someone has to own the process, and I would say the division VP, who the salespeople work for, the manufacturing works for, the planner works for, is the owner. But we'd like to think it's a consensus.
Okay. Okay. Let's move. One technical question. How is the IBP solution different from BPC or NetWeaver solution? I think BPC stands for business process consolidation. Pushpender, you want to take that?
Yeah, sure. So in terms of capability, IBP is a planning application. BPC is more of like you define objects, so you don't have algorithms running in BPC to provide you an answer. In IBP as a platform, like you have heuristics, you have optimizer, you have inventory optimization capabilities available in that. And as per my knowledge, you don't have them in the other two mentioned here.
Yeah. Let me just add my 2 cents here. BPC is also meant for financial planning purposes. So if you want to do a financial forecast, then in terms of multiple currencies across multiple companies or cost centers, and that's what BPC is for. IBP is again what Pushpinder is saying is again more targeted towards supply chain side. Okay.
I think another way to look at it is IBP can do everything BPC does, but BPC can't do volumes, can't do RCCP.
Yep.
That IBP can do.
That's right. I mean, yeah, IBP is really meant for supply chain. Okay. Next question. Okay, this is a process question. So do you dollarize the 18 months plan generated through IBP? If yes, how is it done?
Yeah, we actually keep revenue. We have key figures on revenue in multiple currencies, multiple units of measure, and we are able to, we have a key figure called forecast price, which is IBP is the single source of forecast price for our businesses, and we use the volume times price to get revenue. We don't have fully loaded manufacturing costs or contribution margin or profitability, but we do have and that's really all you need in an S&OP process is gross revenue. So yes.
Okay. Next question, more technical in nature. What integration tool was used to integrate IBP with R3 and BW? Was that HCI?
Yes. HCI is used for all integrations.
Okay. I think this is again a technical question. Have you implemented inventory target setting in IBP module? Are you intending to?
So it's like a part of our next release where they will be going as dynamic inventory planning. So there we will be using demand-based methods, like which is available in IBP 4. The latest release. So we will be like going live with that. So it's on the roadmap.
Okay. Next one. Are you using forecast disaggregation in IBP? Or demand?
I'm sorry, the beginning of the question was?
Yeah. So the question is, are you using forecast disaggregation in IBP? When he says forecast, I think he also imply demand disaggregation.
Yes. Yes. Okay. We actually forecast at a customer product level in a majority of our businesses, but we have the ability to forecast at an aggregated customer level or product level. That's part of the base functionality of the system.
Okay. Now, next question. Again, this is a little bit technical. What's different between HEC and what are they using? I don't think this question makes any sense for me. Hopefully, the person who asked the question can sort of clarify for us. Let me go to the next one. How the integration between R3 and IBP in terms of master data and transaction data flow? I think the person who submitted the question is basically interested to say is what data flow from R3 to IBP and what data flow back from IBP to R3?
So, in terms of data, we are bringing product data, location, customers. We are bringing customer info records as customer sourcing. We have production versions, so we are getting bill of material, routing information here in the application to run our CCP. We are getting a lot of inventory data, on-hand inventory, in-transit inventory, blocked inventory, and you just name it. Like we are getting around 20 plus key figures from either BW or R3 system into IBP. Planners use it for reference, or they play a role in planning when we run the operators. In terms of sending information back to ECC, as we said, we are sending back the plan, which is the output of this application, and the forecast price. So these two are fed back into R3 system for execution.
Okay. Next question. Do you use or plan to use the demand sensing capability of IBP? Has the demand module of IBP, in your opinion, has the demand module of IBP demand mature enough to be used?
I think for now, Albemarle is utilizing IBP SNOP module capabilities. They are looking into IBP supply few features, but so far demand is not on their roadmap, immediate roadmap.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. This is a business process question again. Going back to your forecast accuracy, is this at SKU sales organization or SKU distribution center or others? Also, is your business solely B2B, that is business to business, or is there any retail component? Trying to understand how any leave type events are handled by IBP. By leave type events, I presume it actually meant like promotional type events.
We don't have any retail.
Okay.
Our customers are chemical companies, and our suppliers are chemical companies and petrochemical.
Yeah.
Our sales forecast accuracy is, again, we forecast on a customer product level, and so we roll up, and our order, we may have 15 products in one order for one customer that we make. So we aggregate that whole order, and we aggregate all orders for that sales rep into a total amount of forecast kgs, and we compare that to the actual in all the orders we got for that month. So we're aggregating at a sales rep level we have a sales rep assigned to a customer and a division. So we might have ExxonMobil in 5 divisions, but we only have one sales rep accountable for it per division. So in that division, we look at all of the orders for ExxonMobil and all the other customers for this sales rep, and we compare that to what was the total quantity asked for on all of the orders for that month. I don't know if I answered the whole thing completely.
I think you have. Well, I think we have several more questions, but let's make this the last one. So I think you already covered based on the lessons learned, but I think you'll be good to sort of refresh. The several questions on this sort of came out. So basically, if you have to redo the implementation again, what is the main thing that you would do differently?
Well, it's a kind of a hard question to answer just off the cuff. We would have factored in having our master data cleaned up, and we would have put greater importance on baking that into the project, because it was sort of like we knew we had to do it, but we didn't realize that it was going to be so important to get it done before we started actual production.
I will say, just add to Eric's point here. As they mentioned, like they went sequentially rolling out division by division. So a lot of learnings were already they've corrected when they went live with a different division. So they did not do a big bang for any functionality. They've added business units one by one so that they can apply their learning and then move forward with that. So it was a kind of loop process here to move forward.
I mean, hindsight's 2020. We have lots of key figures now that we didn't think we needed. I mean, I don't know, with the fact that it was a new product from SAP, and there weren't a lot of other users in the same implementation phase as us. I'm not sure we could have done any better. Today, I would have called people like Albemarle and asked what they did, and all of the questions that I had, I could ask. All I could ask was Intrigo and Pushpender. Our team could only ask them. It's tough for an IT implementation partner to be able to tell you about the chemical business and the kind of things. So I don't know if, we're very happy with Intrigo. We're very happy with IBP. So I'm not sure there's lots of things that we could have influenced differently. But I think if a company was implementing today, there would certainly be a lot more resources to ask a lot more questions. You could probably get more succinct in what you wanted to do.
Okay. Many thanks to Eric and Pushpender. I think hopefully we have answered all your questions there. I know we still have a few, but we only have a few minutes left, so I'm going to close the Q&A sessions now. Before we end, I would like to just talk to you guys. Intrigo actually have a promotion going on. So if you click on that link, and you can actually have a chance to actually enter and win the exciting prize from them. Again, this is not part of ESOC, but this is part of Intrigo. So Intrigo, if you're interested to know more about IBPs and some of the white papers, you can actually try to click on that link. And I think that link is, if I'm not, okay, that link is, this is the actual link. So if those of you that is interested, you can actually click on that link if you can see it. Hopefully, as I say, this is part of Intrigo promotion. So feel free to do it if you're interested to know a little bit more about what IBP does and so on and so forth. Eric and Pushpender, any last words?
No, I
okay.
think I've talked out.
Many thanks. Okay, that's all I have for today. Rebecca, you want to close the session?
Sure, absolutely. Yep, I would definitely like to also give our thanks to Eric and Pushpender and Damien. Thank you for setting this up. That concludes our webcast today. As previously mentioned, the recording of this webcast will be posted, and all registrants will receive an email with a link to these materials. On behalf of ASOC and the Supply Chain Management SIG, thank you for joining us. Have a great day.
Okay.